Hey guys, welcome to another piano tutorial from Eric's Piano School. I'm Eric, and today we're going to be learning about the song Sweden, or we're going to be learning the song Sweden from Minecraft, arranged by Torby Brand, C418, can't talk today. And so I took this original sheet music off of MuseScore, and then I made a couple of small adjustments throughout the whole arrangement so that it is super friendly for anybody who has somewhat smaller hands. So you're never going to get into the place where you're not able to stretch and reach your chords. So hopefully you guys like those changes. It doesn't really change the sound that much. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the piece. And a lot of times when we're learning this, we're going to be learning it in these like little bite-sized 2-measure segments because they end up repeating so often throughout the whole piece. So be on the lookout for whenever there's a place that we don't need to learn this part again because we've already learned it once and it's just a repeat. Exactly. So without further ado, we're going to start in measure 1, and I think what it's best to do is to start off with the left hand because, and I'm going to use my little annotation tool here, we can see that this left hand has this repeating sequence that happens over and over, over again. So luckily, once we learn it once, it's not going to be so bad. So now we'll identify this first note here. So we have an E. And so then also make note in our key signature, this note, it's right in line with the F line, the second line. So we have F sharp is going to be, every time that there's an F, we're going to play F sharp. And then this second space here, if we think all cows eat grass from the bottom space, space 1, this is in space number 2, so this is going to be C sharp. Alrighty, so without further ado, so we start, and the E that we're going to play, so here's middle C for reference with that red dot, and we go down, we can go down to this one lower E, and then one more from there. So I recommend starting with your finger 4 on this E so that we're going to have enough fingers to be able to play that pinky at the end with the half note. So we start off in our right hand, or left hand, and we start on the E. We play E, F sharp, G, B, A, G, D. And hopefully you notice that between the B and the A we have this spot where we're going to put the thumb and we're going to replace it on the A. So if we did that one more time, I'm starting with my finger 4 on E, 3 on F sharp, 2 on G, 1 on B. So here's the one skip, then we bring it in. 1, 2, ready, go. E, F sharp, G, B, A, G, D. Awesome, you guys are pros now. And also, you might notice that the speed that I'm choosing is actually quite slow. So here, this is 44 BPM, or beats per minute. So that's less than a beat every second. So this is obviously the mood of this song. Quite reflective, slow, calm, and so we want to make sure that we don't rush through this piece when we're performing it. Okay, so now I'm going to erase all this extra stuff so that we don't get confused by all the extra writing. Okay, and now we're going to go over the first 2 measures of the left hand. I keep saying left and right hand. I'm mixing them up. Okay, so I mean right hand. And so these notes are very low from what you're probably used to seeing. That's an E and a G down there. And so it's like our right hand is 1 octave up from where our left hand starts. So we start off with 2 notes per chord. We have 4 chords to learn. So we start on the E and G. and then we go to A and D, and then we go to F sharp and A, and then C sharp and E. Notice how I'm always saying the note that's on bottom. I always say that first so that it's kind of stacking from the bottom going up. E and G, A and D, F sharp and A, C sharp and E. Yeah. So I'd recommend just being able to be quick around switching between those two chords and then add some time. So holding them each for the half note. Now, next we're going to go over the hands together. So starting with your right hand on the E and G. And it actually follows a very similar pattern. It goes together, left, together, left, together, left, together. And we stop. I recommend tapping this on your lap. Maybe you could tap it with me. Together, left, together, left, and together, left, and stop. And so now the last important element is, so what's going to make this song sound nice and flowing and smooth is we end up having to use the pedal. So I would recommend starting with the pedal down. So then I'll make this little mark here at the bottom of the bass clef that it's this little bracket symbol. And we need to be changing the pedal at a minimum every 2 beats. So when the right hand is kind of changing its chords. Now we could be really picky and change every beat. But that's probably not necessary. We can afford maybe a little bit of blur. So it would sound like this. So we start with the pedal down. So together, left, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's my foot going up, down. Together, left, up, down, together. Now, you'll know that your pedaling isn't quite right if there's a little spot of silence in between every one of those chords. So that would sound a little bit like this. And you'll notice I'm pedaling early. We don't want that. We also don't want to be pedaling too late to the point where everything starts blurring up. You'll actually be able to see it on my little MIDI key roll, how all of the light blue just starts to get really overwhelming. So no pedaling at all. And there it's just a jumbled mess of notes. So definitely make sure to have your foot be active. Okay. So now we're going to move on, and in measures 3 and 4, we have a variation on this 2-note chord. Instead of being 2 notes, we're going to add 1/3 note. So instead of just E-G, we add the B. So it's all skips, E-G, B. Then we go to A-D, which we had before, and then adding the F sharp on top. I like using fingers 1, 3, 5 here. Feel really comfortable. And that actually probably said 1, 3, 5 on every chord here. F sharp, A, C sharp as the 3rd chord. And then for the last chord, we have A, C sharp, E. This is so we start on our E minor, our D over A chord, then our F sharp minor, then our A chord. Maybe I'll even label those. So we have our E little m, then we have our D chord over an A bass note. So the bottom note here is A. Then we have our F sharp minor, which is kind of like a more sad sound or dark. And then we have our A major. And then again, we're going to be keeping the exact same ratio between the hands, meaning together, left, together, left, and together, left, and together. Simple enough. Now, luckily, measures 5 and 6 are the exact same thing. E minor, D over A, F sharp minor, and A. Yeah. Now, one other thing to note as you're just playing this top line is to make sure that the tone production or the sound quality that you're making is kind of reflective of the mood of this song. So it could be very tempting to just whack out those notes. Versus we have a written in piano, so we'll want to make sure that we start soft, right? Okay, so I need to figure out how to mass erase all this text. So let's see. Great Scott, I think I'd done it. Alrighty. So after a couple minutes break trying to figure out the technology, we made it happen. Okay, so I'd recommend playing through that first line, feeling super comfortable. And now we are ready to move on to the second line. So measures 7 and 8. And we're going to learn this in a 2-bar sequence. Now, just something to point off right off the bat is we already have several chords that we already know how to do. Like here's our E minor. Whoa, that's very thick. Okay. Alrighty, so here's our E minor. And then here's our D chord over A. And then we have our F sharp minor. And then we have our A chord. So we already learned several of these. And now we just have to go over these notes in between. So we start in this low E chord. Notice where middle C is. Then we hop up the octave and we play A, B, D over A. I kind of like using my fingers 4 and 5. Notice how these are eighth notes, so they're kind of slow. Walk, running, hold, 2, 3, bum, bum, bum. F sharp A chord. Now, you'll notice that here we have 16th notes that I circled right there. And so, very important, those actually need to be played quickly. But they're not played with the last left-hand note, not with that B, but in between the B and the A. So again, we start in this low E minor chord. We hopped up to the A. 4, 5, D over A chord. Then D, E, F sharp minor. Then we jump up. F sharp A chord. Alrighty. So, obviously when you're doing those quick 16th notes, you're going to have to move quickly to find that chord, which definitely takes some practice. So pause the video if you just need to take a minute on any of these 2 measure sequences. So now let's talk about how the hands come together. So we start on the E chord, hands together. Then the A, B play with the F sharp. Then the chord plays together with the G. Then the B is going to be by itself left hand. Right hand only, D, E, then together on A in the left hand, F sharp minor, left hand G, F sharp A chord, that's right hand only. Let's do that one more time, measure 7 and 8. Together, together, right, together, left, right, right, together, left, right, right, together. Cool. So remember, if you need a minute, you can always press pause and then pick up right where you left off. So now we are going to be going into measures 9 and 10, which is the last 2 measures of line 2. And so again, we start on this E minor chord. Notice a trend. We know the E minor chord. We know the A over D. We know the F sharp minor, and we know the A. So, and also, look at this. We still have the D, E in the 16th notes. And instead of F sharp A here, we have A, F sharp. So it's just reversed. Now, we just have something slightly different at the beginning part. The D, B, A. So we start in this low E minor. Then we hop up, put our hands in a G position, thumb on G. We can start with our pinky. 5 on D, 3, 2, D over A, D, E, F sharp minor, and here's our A, F sharp A, F sharp A chord. One more time in the right hand. E minor, D, B, A, D over A, D, E, F sharp minor, A, F sharp, A major. Nice. And notice at the very beginning, I'm hopping relatively quickly because both of those are eighth notes. So notice how I was jumping very quickly up from this low E minor up to that D. Running, D over A. Yeah. Now let's go over how the hands play together. So again, left hand is going to be the same as it's been all of these other times. So we start off together, right, together, right, together, left, D, E, together, left, right, right, together. So evaluate how you did. If you still need to take a little bit of time for practice, go ahead and do that. We are going to move on now. And so luckily we've already learned quite a bit out of this piece because there's some repeat patterns. So for example, I'm going to pick a new color. I'll pick, well, I guess that didn't work. All right, so I'm going to grab this green color right here for measures 7 and 8. This is line 2. I know I scrolled down a little bit. Now we can see that right here, this is the exact same. There's absolutely no changes. Now, we're not going to be doing that. That is not necessarily the same. But then there's also little pieces that are the same throughout some of the other groups of 2 measures, like this. Instead of A, B, D over A, right here we have B, A, D over A. And so really that's just a single melody note that's just very slightly different. So keep looking out for some of those repeat patterns. We're going to jump to measure 11 because here's where things maybe get a little more tricky. We have a couple of harmonic notes in the right hand. So we're going to start with our right hand. We put it in our E minor. And then I want you to move your right hand up to this G position, thumb on G. And we're going to play our finger 2 on A, finger 3 on B, and then our thumb's going to move to the F sharp and play F sharp and D. So that's A, B, F sharp and D, then F sharp, E, C sharp, and then F sharp, C sharp, E, A. Finding that shape. One more time from, this is measure 11, line 3. So we do E minor, A, B, F sharp and D, F sharp, E, C sharp, F sharp and D, C sharp, E, A. Yeah. Now, really, we could call this an A over C sharp chord. That might make it a little bit easier. I know that I'm saying all these letter names rather fast. Notice how I did not move very quickly between the first 2 notes of measure 11. We have a quarter note, and then we go to our 8th note on A. So it's walk, running, hold. Yeah, so important to just make note of that. Now, here in our left hand is the first time that we actually have something change. So in measure 11, the first 4 notes are the same. The last note looks like it changes, but it is the same. We just have to pick up our hand and move rather quickly. We start on the E, F sharp, G, B. Then we're going to put our left hand, our middle finger on C here. And we're going to play D, E with our fingers 2 and 1. D, E, A, and F sharp as a 6th. I'm using my pinky and my thumb. So we going from D, E, we move down to A and F sharp, then G, D. One more time in the left hand. E, F sharp, G, B move, D, E, A and F sharp, G, D. I'd say this is one of the most challenging measures of the entire piece, so you'll definitely want to give some good practice to this one, and especially hands separate, right? Because there's so much jumping around that's happening. So when we bring the hands together, we start E minor in the right hand, left hand finger 4 on E, and we do together, together, right, together, left, together, 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 and right there on those 16th notes. So our right hand's playing a finger 3 on F sharp, and our left hand is playing a D. But then notice how the right hand's going down and the left hand's going up, so they're both playing an E at the same time. You're going to have to hop with that left hand. Together, 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 left, together, right, together. At the end of that phrase, at the end of measure 12, where we have the F sharp and D to C sharp to A over C sharp chord, we have to hop after those two notes to make it to the C sharp EA, or the A over C sharp major chord. Because it's not like we can just stretch to get there. We have to just send ourselves quickly. Anyway, I'm going to play that one more time, hands together, starting from measures 11 and 12. We start together, together, right, together, left move, together, 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 left, together, right, oh, not right, not together at the very end. Right, right, together. Yes. Okay, so as stated, this part is going to be very similar, just this B-A. We'll go over it in the right hand first, very briefly. And, okay, so we start on this E minor chord. So we go E minor, B, A, D over A over D, D, E, F sharp minor, F sharp A major. One more time. E minor, B, A, D over A, D, E, F sharp minor, F sharp A chord. That finishes out line number 3. Now, because measure 7 and 8 here, so line 2, and measure 15 and 16 here are the exact same, I'm just going to skip over that right now, and we're just going to jump immediately to measure 17 and 18. And so we're coming in to the final line almost, so we're 2 measures away from that. So we're going to start with our right hand, our thumb on this E minor. Here's middle C, so just below middle C. We hop up to our G position in the right hand. Thumb on G. We play A, B, F sharp and D. This should feel familiar because it's basically the same. And then we play D, E, C sharp, F sharp, A chord. And notice how we play that high F sharp, and then we do the low F sharp, then the A, and then the A chord. So we start E minor, A, B, F sharp and D, D, E, C sharp, F sharp, A chord. Now, one thing to look out for in the left hand is see how we have this A and F sharp in the left hand. We've done that chord once before on that one tricky measure, measures 11 and 12. Or really, it happens in measure 12. So we start at measure 17 here. And when we bring in the hands together, actually, I'll start just left hand alone there, just so you can practice that. We start on E, F sharp, G, B, A and F sharp, G, D. Then doing the hands together, together, right, together, left, right, together, right, together. There, we made it now we're finally on the last line. Here, there's a fair amount of changes. So, again, we're still going to take it 2 measures at a time, but obviously there's much more different going on because the left hand is not staying the same with the bass line that we've had for the rest of the piece. To me, this part of the piece is probably the most exciting or triumphant. So, yeah, we're going to dive in. So we start with our right hand. We're on this D over A chord. We've played this several times before. Our D major, but then it's over the A bass note. Then we move up to B, A, E, B, G sharp. We have this G sharp that we've never seen before. And then E, D, A, E, C sharp. I use 1, 3, 5 here again. And then to finish these 2 measures, D, E, D, G, B. So that's very low there, but one easy way is I can definitely tell that it's a B just below the middle C line there. And I see the next note is a skip below, so that has to be G. And then I can see that it's a fourth or a skip plus a step. So then the fourth below G is D, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the third above that is our DGB. So if I play that all in my right hand, we do D over A, B, A, and this is an E chord, E, D, A over E, D, E, G over D. So several times we have these chords, and that's telling us the bass note in the denominator. So we have our A chord over the E chord, or A chord over E, and then we have an E chord over B. And because I'm not specifying if it's major or minor, you just assume that it's major. We don't have to write a capital M like I was doing earlier. I was writing an E minor with lowercase. So then lastly we have our D over our A chord. And so now we're going to go over our left hand chords for measures 19 and 20, the first 2 measures. So we start off, and these are just all octaves. So if you can't do octaves, what I'd recommend is maybe just playing a single note. That would probably be best. But right now I'm going to be practicing octaves, and hopefully you have big enough hands to do that. Or you can also find the fifth, which is like it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps away. So you find the same root note, and then you go up 7 half steps from there. But we're going to practice our octaves. So we start on the B. We go B, then we go to E here, and then we go to A here, and then we go to D, or G here. Silly me. One more time in that left hand. B, then to E, then to A, then to G. Nice. Now we can see that this 2 measure sequence in the left hand doesn't change at all. So luckily we don't have to, no new learning there, right? Now let's talk about how the hands come together. So we start together, right, together, right, together, right, together. Now, pointing out that here we have those fast notes, the 16th notes, but the other ones, these 8th notes, they're very much a very slow, it's like a slow jog, a slow run. Running here. Now, moving on, we're going into our final 2 measures. Is we start on our F sharp A D chord. So here's the F sharp down here. F sharp A D. And then this next chord, the B A E B E B E G sharp. That's the same chord as the second chord of measure 19, just a minute ago. Then we do E high octave E, then E, A, C sharp. This chord is the same except we did it an octave lower last time. And then D, E, then low E, G chord over D. So this is the same chord that we ended on last time, but we're up an octave this time. So if I start at measure 21, where we do our F sharp and A and D, chord, running chord, running chord, walk, running, hold. And I'm realizing that there's this extra B here that was supposed to get deleted in my arrangement of this, so don't feel like you need to add in that note on the final measure. We are just tying over, and technically the song ends right there in the second to last measure. So, phew, we made it all the way to the end, and now I think it'd be a good idea if I'm just going to demonstrate and play through the piece one time and give out some of the cues that we've had throughout the piece. So we start in our low E. See if you can play along with me in our E. So together, left, together, left, together, left, together, and pedal and change, up, down, together, left, together, left, together, left, and end of line 1. Then our jump. A, B, D over A, left, D, E, F sharp minor, A chord, together, D, B, A, together, left, D, E, F sharp minor, and scrolling down, E, A, B, D sharp, F sharp, and D, B, together, 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 left, right, right, together, then together, B, A, D over A, B, D, E, F sharp minor, F sharp, A chord, measure 15, E minor, A, B, D over A, D, E, F sharp minor, F sharp, A chord, together, A, B, F sharp, and D, D, E, C sharp, F sharp, A chord, and here's our triumphant ending. Chord, running chord, running chord, running chord, and hold it up an octave, right together, running chord, walk, running chord. Phew. So we made it all the way to the end. Hopefully you found this video helpful and that it will assist you in being able to progress through the piece and practice. If you have any questions about the arrangement, feel free to leave a comment down below. Anyway, happy practicing. I hope this is enjoyable. Let me know if there's any other songs that you would be interested in watching a tutorial for. Bye-bye.